Hi, my name's Abby Fields, and I'll be discussing what temperature of water makes yeast work. Yeast is a microscopic organism that is a fungus. It feeds on sugar when activated and releases carbon dioxide as a byproduct, making the yeast dough rise. The rising of the yeast dough makes the finished product lighter. If your water is too cold, the yeast will not activate, so the dough won't rise. If your water is too hot, the yeast will die, making no reaction happen and no rise. This recipe calls to mix the yeast with water that is between 110 and 115 degrees. The traditional method calls for 105 to 115 degrees of water. The one rise calls for 110 to 120. A tip is to just feel the water. It must be warm to the touch, but not hot. Now that my yeast is dissolved, I'm going to transfer it to the bowl. Next, I will add the sugar, salt, 2 eggs, 1 cup of sour cream. Next, you add your melted butter, only 6 tablespoons. Save 2 tablespoons for the glaze that will go on it. Now you're going to mix it together. Next, you're going to gradually add in 1.5 cups of flour and beat it with an electric mixer. This is my last addition. There's the rest of the flour. Now I just beat it one more time. You're going to knead in the last 1 3/4 or so cups of flour. Slowly though. Once you add your last addition, you just knead it a little bit more until it's elasticy. It's possible you might need a few more tablespoons, but you can do that when it's on the cutting board. After kneading your dough for 5 minutes on the cutting board, it should be smooth and elastic. It's pretty elastic to me. A tip is to not use the electric mixer for the whole thing, because if you use it to add all of the flour instead of kneading part of the flour in, then likely you can short circuit and break your electric mixer because the dough will be too thick. Now I'm going to grease my bowl real quick. And put in my dough. I'm going to turn the dough over once to grease the whole thing. Next, you're going to place a dish towel over the bowl and put it in a warm place so that the dough can rise. A tip is you can put it in the microwave because then it won't be hit with any drafts and it will rise how it's supposed to. Because we use the correct temperature of water, our yeast will have risen. Next, we're going to punch down the dough a few times. Next, divide the dough in half. And then roll half of it at a time. Once it's about 12 inches in diameter, you're going to take a pizza cutter and cut it into about 12 equal slices. Next, you want to brush the butter onto the slices that you have made. Next, you want to put about half of the sugar and orange rind mixture on these. Just sprinkle it on. It doesn't have to be exact. Next, you're going to take them and, starting at the long end, roll it up to form a crescent shape. You're going to place them point side down in the pan. You're going to repeat this on all of the others. Next, you're going to repeat these steps with the other half. Once you're done with all of them, cover them again, each with a towel, and put in a place that is warm so that they will rise again for 2 more hours. While your rolls are rising, preheat your oven to 375. Once the oven is preheated, put your pans into the oven and bake it for 20 minutes. While cooking the rolls, make the sauce that has a stick of butter, a half cup of sour cream, 2/3 a cup of sugar, and 2 tablespoons of orange juice. Once you take them out of the oven, you need to take the orange sauce that you made and pour it on them. And here are the finished products. Because you used warm water instead of hot or cold with the yeast, it allowed the rolls to grow large and puffy and create a flaky and smooth inside.